Welcome to the Files, where we delve into the mysteries and secrets that history has left in its wake. Today, we're turning our gaze to the far reaches of the Arctic, to a place shrouded in wartime secrets and conspiracy theories. The Nazi weather station known as Schatzgräber on Alexandra Land. This desolate island, just shy of the North Pole and deep within Soviet territory, was home to a clandestine German operation that has intrigued historians and conspiracy theorists alike. But what exactly were the Nazis doing so far north, and what secrets did they leave behind? During World War II, Allied forces operating in the North Sea often intercepted strange signals originating from the remote Arctic region. These signals were puzzling, but with the war's primary theaters far to the south, they were largely dismissed as a curiosity. Unbeknownst to the Allies, these signals were being transmitted from a secret Nazi base on Alexandra Land, a frozen outpost located a mere few hundred miles from Soviet territory. This wasn't the plot of an Indiana Jones movie. This was a real wartime operation that remained hidden from the world until long after the war had ended. The discovery of Schatzgräber in the 1950s was a revelation. Soviet forces found the abandoned base, and in 2016, an unseasonably warm Arctic summer allowed archaeologists to uncover hundreds of artifacts from the site. These items included German mines, hand grenade fragments, cartridge boxes, ammunition, Wehrmacht uniforms, and even personal items like coats and sacks bearing the mark of the German army. These relics provide a haunting glimpse into the daily lives of the men stationed there. Among the more intriguing finds were scientific instruments, such as thermometers, weather balloons, and journals filled with detailed meteorological data. This cache of artifacts not only confirmed the base's purpose, but also opened a window into the extreme conditions and isolation these men endured. Weather forecasting has always been a critical aspect of military strategy. From ancient battles disrupted by sudden storms to World War II, naval operations relying on precise weather predictions, understanding and predicting weather patterns could make or break a military campaign. The Nazis knew this all too well. In their bid to gain a strategic advantage, they established Schatzgräber to monitor Arctic weather patterns and provide data that could influence the outcomes of air and naval battles. However, life at Schatzgräber was far from just about gathering weather data. The location was not chosen merely for its meteorological benefits. The Arctic's remoteness provided a perfect cover for other, possibly darker, Nazi interests. Given the Nazis' known fascination with the occult and their relentless quest for scientific and supernatural advantages, it's not far-fetched to speculate that the station could have been part of a broader effort to explore and exploit the Arctic's mysterious and uncharted regions. Some historians suggest that Schatzgräber might have been a hub for testing experimental technologies or even conducting esoteric research away from the prying eyes of the world. This blend of science and mystery continues to fuel theories about the true purpose of the base. The base's location on Alexandra Land was strategically significant, but also perilously close to Soviet territory. The men stationed there were isolated, relying on extreme secrecy and the occasional resupply by U-boat to survive. This remote outpost operated under the constant threat of discovery, yet it managed to send over 700 weather reports back to Germany without being detected. This intelligence was invaluable, helping the Luftwaffe plan bombing raids and naval operations by avoiding adverse weather conditions. However, life at Schatzgräber was fraught with danger. The men were completely cut off from the rest of the world, and their isolation was compounded by the harsh Arctic environment. In 1944, their mission came to an abrupt end when the crew fell seriously ill after consuming contaminated polar bear meat. Infected with roundworm, likely contracted from a seal, the crew was forced to evacuate via U-boat. The station was never reoccupied, and as the war drew to a close, Schatzgräber faded into the icy silence of the Arctic. Yet the story of Schatzgräber doesn't end there. The discovery of this secret base has fueled countless conspiracy theories and speculations. Some even suggest that it was part of a broader Nazi plan to establish hidden bases in remote parts of the world, including Antarctica. The notion of a Nazi base in Antarctica, potentially involved in bizarre occult or technological experiments, has captivated the imaginations of many. While most of these stories are purely fictional, they stem from the very real expeditions the Nazis undertook in search of resources and strategic advantages. One such expedition, led by Captain Alfred Richer in 1938, aimed to explore and claim a part of Antarctica for Germany. Dubbed Neuschwabenland, this territory was intended to support German whaling operations, a crucial industry for producing whale oil, a key ingredient in margarine, a staple in the German diet. The expedition mapped an area larger than Germany, and even though their plans for a permanent base were abandoned with the outbreak of World War II, the legend of Nazi bases in Antarctica has persisted. As we piece together these fragments of history, the allure of secret Nazi bases, whether in the Arctic or Antarctica, continues to spark intrigue and speculation. From Schatzgräber's hidden operations to the icy mysteries of Neuschwabenland, these stories remind us of the lengths to which the Nazis went in their quest for dominance. They also serve as a chilling reminder of how war drives nations to explore the most remote and uncharted territories in pursuit of an advantage. There are some intriguing alternative theories about Nazi activities in Antarctica, including the speculation that Hitler's ashes, along with other Nazi treasures, were transported and hidden there. For those of us captivated by conspiracy theories, this idea is tantalizing, yet it doesn't hold much water. No evidence has been found to support the existence of any secret bunkers, large or small, in Antarctica. The 1938 German expedition to the frozen continent, often cited in these theories, only spent about a month conducting their research before returning home. This short time frame was not nearly enough to build or hide a significant structure. Additionally, the U-boat commanders and their crews who appeared in Argentina after the war were thoroughly interrogated. The investigations concluded that no high-ranking Nazis or significant figures were on board these submarines. Nevertheless, the Nazis did leave their mark on the Antarctic landscape, and it's a fascinating story rooted in something as mundane as whale oil. As mentioned earlier, a German ship named the Schwabenland set sail for Antarctica in December 1938. The mission's official purpose was to scout the region for a potential base to support Germany's whale oil production. Whale oil at that time was a critical ingredient in products like margarine, which was hugely popular in Germany. With the looming threat of war, Hitler was keen to reduce Germany's reliance on foreign imports, particularly from Norway, ensuring a steady supply of these oil-based products, even if trade routes were disrupted. So, why go all the way to Antarctica for whale oil? The answer lies in the declining whale populations closer to home. By the late 1930s, overfishing had severely depleted whale stocks in the North Atlantic and North Pacific. Germany needed to venture further afield to secure the whale oil necessary for its industries. Establishing a base in Antarctica seemed like a logical step. The Schwabenland's mission, however, wasn't about establishing secret bunkers or escape plans for Nazi leaders. Captain Alfred Richer, who led the expedition, was chosen for his expertise in polar navigation rather than any covert Nazi agendas. Although Richer had the requisite experience and had previously been married to a Jewish artist, there's no evidence to suggest he was involved in any hidden operations. The real goal was straightforward: to explore and potentially exploit Antarctica's resources to bolster Germany's wartime economy. Despite the mundane nature of their mission, the German expedition did leave a lasting, if not sinister, legacy in Antarctica. As part of their efforts to claim territory, the crew dropped metal swastikas across the ice, a symbolic gesture to assert their presence. While this may not align with the grandiose images of hidden bunkers and secret bases that conspiracy theories suggest, it does add a dark and peculiar chapter to the story of Nazi exploration. These small tokens, scattered across the Antarctic landscape, serve as eerie reminders of a regime that sought to expand its influence even to the most remote corners of the globe. What do you think about the story of Schatzgräber? Do you believe there are more hidden Nazi bases waiting to be discovered? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the frozen secrets of the Arctic, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more fascinating explorations into the unknown. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring.